Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
I have changed some things up, Mr. Magazine, and it is working for me, and I think it's going to work. Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to work for other people out there as well. I don't think it would work for you because I don't think you're set up for it.
Okay.
And what am I talking about, you ask?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. On eBay and on other sites as well, but especially on eBay with international buyers, I'm finding that it's taking a lot, and I mean a lot, of hand-holding. Would you say that is accurate, and if so, why?
Well, especially multi-orders,
yes.
Because they can't pay. It's just frustrating. Then three options. For me, half the time, they just don't buy the items. You know, they cancel it. It's in their card or whatever. Or I tell them, pay the full amount, we'll refund some. They don't like that because they think they're going to get screwed. Or put up for the lot. I hate putting up for the lot, but if it's a guaranteed sale. But even then, half the time we put up for a lot, then they don't buy it.
Right. There's a few things, apparently, and I've heard from multiple eBayers, and don't quote me on this, but it appears to be that if you make an offer to the buyer and he accepts it, they then cannot have that combined with other things for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And eBay has its own weird ways of when it combines, when it doesn't. There's some, I guess there's stuff going on with weights. I guess there's stuff going on with value. There's just a lot of different things on. And I've had a situation before where somebody internationally purchased 8 items. 5 of them could be invoiced. The other 3 had to be paid for separately.
It's crazy.
And then you try to explain that to them. And then you're not supposed to ship them all together because they're going to the eBay standard. So I'm supposed to ship that in 4 different lots.
Now, what percentage of your sales, whether you had successful sales or not internationally with this issue, would you say your percentages? Did it happen? 1%, 5%?
Re-ask the question?
As far as like, what percentage of your sales are these international ones, whether you end up getting the sale or not getting the sale?
I would say international is overall. International is probably 10% of my sales.
Okay, but it's 10%. So say half of that is a problem of the 5% maybe.
Yeah.
So if it's 5% for you, 5% for me, 5% for this person and that person, it's 5% for eBay. So it's affecting eBay sales too. I mean, think about that. You know, so I mean, and they can't do anything about it to simplify the shipping. How come you can combine USA but not international? Doesn't make any sense.
Because their algorithm picks out what can and cannot be combined for whatever reason. Their algorithm picks that out. But here's where you absolutely, there's a couple of issues that come into play. Number one, we're on Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, depending on what time of year it is. We're on Eastern Time. If you're dealing with somebody in England, they may be 7 hours difference. You're dealing with somebody in Germany, they may be 10 hours difference. You're dealing with somebody somewhere else, they may be 12 hours, 14 hours difference. Yeah. So now, in order for this to work, you have to explain it to them because they don't understand.
Right.
You also have to try to figure out a time when you're both going to be on.
True.
So you have to communicate with them, and when they answer you back and you're on, then you need to strike while the iron's hot. And you have to say, okay, you're on right now.
Yeah.
Here is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I had a gentleman say, yep, I'm buying these 2 magazines from you. I want them combined. And then he bought both of them and paid for them separately. Well, now I can't combine them.
Right.
So I have to email him, say, I am putting them together in a lot for you. Then I have to cancel his original. And then I have to wait for him to buy. Yeah. Well, he didn't buy for 2 days.
Right.
And now I'm going, well, wait a minute now. I've got a lot of 2 of these up for him.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that if he doesn't want or he doesn't buy it within a reasonable amount of time, that I end that, and then I can't lose my other 2 items because I want to relist those.
Exactly, yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of hand-holding that goes on with these, but I'm finding that working with them is helping, and I am getting the sales. I made a $200 sale and a $70 sale that way.
Oh, nice. Okay.
By doing that within the last week.
Yeah, because originally they think it's our fault. We did something wrong. We're not invoicing them or something, or we want to get full shipping. You know, immediately they think they're right off the bat, and then you got to explain to them. I go, you can contact eBay. We can try, but it's got to be these options, and then they let them decide.
Which reminds me what I've been meaning to do, and I should do it, and you should do it out there as well, is make up a template explaining eBay's shipping policies. That, look, it goes domestically to a hub. That will be the tracking number that you get. It then gets batched out to your country from eBay.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just explain it, because a lot of times they don't understand that either. They get a little antsy when the tracking number shows that it arrived in Chicago. And they're like, I'm in France. Why isn't it in Chicago? Because that's the way it works.
Exactly.
But you have to explain it to them. And that's what I mean by hand-holding, is I take the time and I invest the time to explain to them exactly what's happening and kind of walk them through it and make sure that I put the bulk listing up and the like. But that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you are set up to do that.
And we try our best. We'll win some and lose some. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I forget about it, or I'm like, oh, it's not worth it. It's a headache for $60. Not that I don't need $60, but by the time I got to pay this person to put the listing up and this and that and back and forth, and eBay fees, But the way eBay is now, I'm desperate to make any type of sale. So I got to, try and make it work one way or the other.
Now, have you had it yet where they haven't purchased it and you've forgotten to take down the listing?
Oh, I'm sure that's happened before at some point. Yeah, I'm sure. Usually my manager lists them, so he'll tell me, like, hey, did they buy it yet? Did they not buy it? Or, hey, I put the listing up, I haven't seen the order to print, so, do the best you can. That's it.
The other issue that hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for the person to say, is what I end up doing is, let's say that you contact me and you say, I want these 4 postcards and I want them all shipped together. I will then take one of the listings and change it. And it'll be, Made of the Mist, Niagara Falls. And 3 other postcards is what I put in the listing.
Yeah.
And then down below, I list what the other 3 are. I have not had anybody yet say, I want pictures in the listing to protect me.
No, I can see
which
that,
I could see them doing.
I can see one of my buyers doing that.
And at that point, it's not worth it to me. It's like, no, I'm not going to pull the whole order and everything. I did put in 3 other postcards, and then down below, what I do is I copy what the listing is of the other 3.
Yeah.
So down below, it'll list all 4 postcards that are in the lot. I figure that's protecting them, so if anything were to happen, it's like, no, you did win 4. It says 4 down below. You've won the 4 type deal. But I'm trying to minimize my work as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to put up 4 pictures of the various postcards and all that kind of thing. I want to just do one. I want to make it as easy as possible, but also protect my buyer, that they know what they're getting. Because I'm sure there are sellers out there that are less than honest.
Yeah.
Who would just send that one postcard.
Yeah.
Or if they're a large organization, they might see it and just send the one out, not realizing there are 3 other in the order.
Yeah.
And so it might not even be they're trying to scam. It's just the person printing it didn't realize, and the person packing it didn't realize, and one postcard goes out.
Right.
Even though the listing was altered to say 4.
Yeah.
They might not know that either. So I think you're going to find that happening a lot more. I think that we do need to hold hands. And I think that the more that Mr. Magazine, me, and everybody out there watching this, I think the more that we all educate the buyers as to what it is, how eBay is working right now with international. I think that helps all of us because, again, they don't necessarily know, and we have to explain it to them, but it'll help all of us in the end. And I'm going to throw in a little story from back when I used to have the day job.
Ooh, a free rambling story.
First audit I would do with you, I would spend a lot of time with you. I would tell you, here's what we need, here's the way the record should be, here's how, here's why, here's this, here's that. Yeah. And I would spend extra time. If your audit would take 45 minutes usually, it might take an hour and a half the first year. Because I want to take the time to explain everything to you, so every year thereafter it takes 45 minutes, there's no questions. Here's what I need, here's why, boom, 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 boom. And I invested the time the first year to make everything so much easier every year thereafter, as opposed to every year it being a battle.
Sure.
And it's the same thing over here. Invest the time. Yeah, maybe it won't work for you. Maybe the guy will never come back to buy from you, but maybe when he's buying from Popeye's Postcards, he understands how the system works and makes it easier for Popeyes.
Sure.
And if Popeyes explains it to somebody else who then comes to buy from me, they understand as well.
Right.
So the more knowledge that's out there for the international buyers, the better it helps all of us.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll help you. And if you would like to help us,
hit the like button.
there you go. And we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye bye.